Hey guys, what's going on? May the 4th be with you week, right? That's what they say, isn't it? May the 4th be with you for this week? Anyway, it used to be just one day. Now it's like a whole friggin' week. Well, I spent most of the week trying to figure out if it was Revenge of the 5th or Revenge of the 6th, because I've seen multiple iterations. I just decided both days were Sith days because always two there are. No more, no less. But today we have something really cool. I am going to be opening and showing off Palpy's burrito. Interesting story how I came by this. We're going to focus on this today. So, without further ado, we have Bad Batch in the back. We've got all my Star Wars gear out here hanging out doing its thing. Let's hit the intro and do the video.
Behold my stuff.
Alright, so Palpatine's new Black Series Force Effects Elite Saber. Really interesting. I'm very excited to open this. A lot of people were turned off by this because they saw Star Wars Theory's review of it, and he didn't like it. Surprise, surprise. So automatically so many fans just jumped on that bandwagon and didn't like it. I was very interested in it because I knew I would never get a proper sized Palpatine, but being a Palpy guy, I wanted one. And this one appealed to me. When I saw how big it was, I just didn't think it was worth that $225 price tag. Randomly, my friend from Australia hit me up, who's also a huge Star Wars fan, and he said, "Dude, did you see this?" And so I immediately had to be like, "What?" You know, the bait text, right? Like, "Did you see this?" But he didn't send me the thing. So I said, "What? Show me." And he sent me the thing. And it was a one-day flash sale, May the 4th type deal. I believe it was the last day of... might have been the last day of April. And it was a GameStop one-day flash sale where the thing was on sale for $100. And I really shouldn't be spending $100 on lightsabers right now. I should be saving it to buy silicone for a big project that I have coming up. But by the time he sent me the next text where he's like, "I know you said it was big, but I thought you might want it," I was like, "Dude, I already just clicked on the link and bought it." So I had to buy it immediately. So I definitely think it's worth that amount of money. Too big or not. I mean, it comes with a display stand and everything. So I'm really excited to see it. This particular May the 4th was an interesting week because they debuted the Bad Batch. You can see episode 2 drop behind me on the screen, which means that it's actually Friday the 7th because they released the first episode on the 4th and the second episode on the 7th. They gave us a double in 1 week, which is really cool. So I'm definitely going to check that out. So since I've got Yoda here, I've got Vader here, I've got my Sacred Jedi text and my Luke display right there. I had Baby Yoda's pram there. It actually spent the week at work because we decided to celebrate Star Wars at work, and I actually got to be Kylo Ren at work. One thing I did not bring with me for that was my repainted Kylo Ren Force Effects saber. So I have this out for comparative purposes. I left that at home. And what I did bring to work, though, was... oh, no. There it is. The Luke Reforged, which is what they call it. I call it the Ray Fix, or the Fix Flex. It's often referred to as. It's the only lightsaber we actually see Ben Solo use, which is kind of cool. And I use this when I dress up like Ben Solo. So it has, of course, the removable blade, which is what you keep hearing. And we're going to compare this for size as well. And we're also going to take a look at the blade attachment and see if there's a correlation between the Legacy sabers and this. So let's take a look at the box. So first things first, a really weird shaped box. Very angular, very triangular, very Sith. It's got a really nice picture. It's obviously in episode 3 Palpatine there because he's got a very fat latex face. The prosthetics were thinned out very nicely in episode 9. The back shows a 1-to-1 scale. Shows what the display looks like, which I'm super pumped about because that's how I'm going to display it most of the time. It's got the Hasbro logo. It talks a little bit about how it lights up. It also says it has a lightning mode, which is kind of cool. It's just one of those little things that makes it a little unique for Emperor Palpatine. We're going to open this up one side at a time. Oh, did I miss one? Indeed I did. And the box will get destroyed. I don't save boxes. I'm not a box guy. For all the crap that I hoard, it's kind of interesting that I don't save boxes. I do tend to destroy them. So let's open this up and see how this is laid out. Okay, so they want you to open it this way. And now we can see the burrito. So we've got a nice little authentic Hasbro card there. The blade holder attachment, the standard display attachment, the stand itself, and the blade. So let's take the protective plastic off and see what we're looking at. So my first notice is that this particular blade is not the same as the legacy saber blades that you run into at the Disney parks. You can see they have very different attachments. So very, very, very separate. So this blade is unique to the Force Effects Elite series by Hasbro. It does not coincide with the Disney parks. So were I to try to attach this to the Elite series, no dice. So that's worth noting. So that means this is the only blade I can use with Palpy. And if I bust it, then I'm screwed. But I can't imagine too many instances where I'll actually put the blade in unless I'm dressing up like Palpatine. So the blade itself, unique to this. So that's interesting. And I'm glad that I was able to compare it to a separate blade. I haven't seen too many videos where they compare the blade attachments to the Force Effects series. I'll take this plastic out. Ooh, I can smell my Chinese food upstairs. A booklet, and it's going to show you assembly, putting in the batteries, how to attach the hilt. It's going to show you how to take the hilt off and attach it correctly so you can put the sword in and do the whole spiel. Several little bits here to do the stand. And the stand is it feels like it has metal. I thought it might be cold cast resin, but maybe not. So let's see how this attaches. I'm going to put money out that attaches this, and it attaches this. I'm sure this is how it's supposed to go, but it's got the very cool Empire light paneling, which I do like that. That's very nice. I dig it. So here's the fat end that connects so that you can have the blade go in. But let's take the burrito out itself. That's what everybody wants to see. I like it. Look at that. Look at that. That is, oh man, that actually feels not too bad in my hand. Kind of an interesting, if you look down the shaft here, you can kind of see it's got some detailing all the way down, even though that doesn't hold a blade. That's kind of cool. And then, of course, it's got pressable red and green buttons on the side. Here's where the Allen key comes into play, so that you can take this off and battery it up. And then the bottom has some detailing for us. So let's take a look at the bottom. Because this is highly reflective, you are probably not going to be able to read any of this, but I apologize. But it's super chromy, which is really nice. It does have a sticker. That's coming off. We'll unscrew the top. And now we can see the blade plug. So there's that bottom connection we were talking about in there. So very shiny, very chrome. Chrome is sexy. We like chrome. Pristine is such a harder prop to do than something like a weathered prop, for example. So I believe this is supposed to go in first, is according to the instructions. I think you press and turn, and then this slides over, and then you screw in. So it is assembled in such a fashion. So that's how that goes. So that's what it looks like when you attach the blade. And that's a good length. If you compare it to the length of the blade that I got from Disney Plus, it's just a wee bit longer. So that's a good length. Let's see how it compares to Kylo length. even a little longer than Kylo Ren's. No, they're about the same size. So not too bad. Good length on Palpatine. Feels good. You can it's a hand and a half, so you can get 2 hands on this, but you really want to do it with just one. And then you can do, make that stupid face that he makes, but really not too bad. So the bottom piece comes out, has a little bit of an attachment thing going on. And then what do we got in here? So batteries are not included. They're AA batteries. All right, we're back, and I had to run and get some batteries. So we're going to load in the batteries. We look to see where the... Ooh, I need that. That goes in there. That slides in there. Now, there's a hole that has to line up inside when you put the screw back in, and that's what kind of holds it in place. So, got to kind of get it just right. And that means that there's tension on it, so you don't want to screw it too hard, because you will strip the screw thread. So don't screw it too hard, kids. It's a good lesson. It's how you stay married. Don't screw it too hard. It's got a nice look to it. It's a lot redder than Kylo's is. So if I pull Kylo's out, you can see this is a lot brighter than the Kylo Ren old school one. Not the new one. This is the original one that they put out. And it dwarfs it with color. I mean, this is just much brighter and richer. It photographs a lot better. It looks a lot redder in person, but as you can see on camera, it has that nice orange look to it. So definitely... So let's see if it's as bright as the Disney parks. It's brighter than the Disney park. Definitely brighter than the Disney park. I have put a red kyber crystal in these and seen the red on this, and this is definitely brighter. So this is definitely their best blade to date. All right, so that is what this guy looks like. Very nice. I dig it. So that's a red blade. That is a very red blade. Let's take this out. So we twist and remove. Let's go back and put the smaller thin neck on there. And again, we have that really nice look. Let's take the stand out. Let's go ahead and display this the way it's supposed to. Look at that. That is nice. That displays nice. That looks really good. It's hard to see, but this is just a little darker than the silver in the middle here. So it does have that sort of gunmetal look to it. I could brush it with like graphite powder or something, but I'm not going to bother. And then you have the brass parts and the copper up there. So there's just those, the gold, the silver, the slightly darker gunmetal, and then the copper. Just got like this 4-tone metal. It was just a really interesting saber design. It had a very regal aspect to it, and I was always kind of expecting Palpatine's saber to be a little more menacing, but the prequel sabers were very elegant. They didn't look like constructed found items at all. And so Palpatine's saber is no different. So this will be a nice display. We can put this display, we'll put this in here. And that'll go in there very nicely. Very, very cool items that Hasbro has been doing. They've been stepping it up a little bit. We're going to take a look really quick now at the instructions and see what exactly this lightning aspect is supposed to be. I don't quite get it. And to be honest with you, even with the modded big blade bit on the side, you don't notice. All right. Oh, okay. So if you can see that, that's blaster deflect. So so as you pose it, you get little flashes of blue light. The camera's not picking it up so much, but that's interesting. And then when you hold it, that's the thing goes in. Okay. And that's through the wall. I still haven't figured out this lightning thing. Sure. All right. So that is the Emperor Palpatine Elite Force Effects lightsaber. Is it worth $225? No. No, it's not. I don't think any... I'll be honest with you, I've never seen a Hasbro saber worth $225. It's a fun toy. It's cool. $150 tops. If you can get it for what I got it for, then abso-friggin-lutely do that. Oh, that's kind of cool because the batteries are in, but there's no blade. It does the misfire sound. That's kind of cool. But this is very chrome. This isn't cheap plastic. This is good metal. It's coated metal, but it has a really nice look to it, including some parts that have a little bit of coloration, which is kind of interesting. And I wonder if that coloring, I think, is deliberate to make it stand out a little bit. So really interesting, man. I don't know if that gunmetal just comes off on purpose like that or what, but really kind of cool. I really dig this. This is going to display really nice. So yeah, so if we compare it in size to the Fix Flex, this is the Fix Flex, and it is an all-metal hilt except for the wrap, which is plastic, which a lot of people bummed out about, so were the bunny ears, which is nothing new for Hasbro Graflex lightsabers. Also, the belt clip, if we roll this, you can see, you'll eventually come to Rey's belt clip. That particular guy is plastic, where the others are more rubber. So we compare in size Palpies to that. You can see it's smaller, so it's not super oversized. And if you're my size, then it don't matter. But it's a good size hilt. It looks nice. And since you really can't get a hold of the master replicas for any kind of a reasonable price, then if you have to have a Palpatine, then this is the way to go, man. And it's a really bright red lightsaber, so it looks good if you take photos with it, and it looks good if you're lighting it up and playing around or cosplaying or just, fencing with your friends. I mean, it's good stuff. And despite the fact it only has these 3 volume holes on the bottom, it sounds really good. It's got some really interesting coloring on it, and it'll photograph nicely. I don't know if some of these discolors are deliberate or it was just a bad anodizing, but there's like a little bit of gold down here. There's a little bit of copper here, but I dig it. I think it adds some color to it. So that's what this is. Yoda, we dig? We dig. I have to say, as far as Hasbro sabers go, I'd probably give it a nice solid 8 out of 10. Definitely points for having the exchangeable heads. Definite points for having a removable blade. Both a display that comes with it as well is a bonus. It only loses 2 points for not being an accurate 1-to-1 size, but because it's functional, it will not be. So 8.5 out of 10 at the max, just because it is a very sexy, shiny aspect. It loses a little bit of points because it's a prequel saber, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of the prequel sabers, but I'm a huge Palpatine fan. And if you're going to be a Palpatine fan, you should have a Palpatine saber. And now I do. So I'm really happy with it. It was totally worth the price that I got it for online during that flash sale. If you see one for $100, $150, I say go for it. I'm happy with the saber. I recommend purchase. I do like it. I think it's one of the better Force Effects ones that I've seen them do. You have to buy this shit. So yes, I bought this. I'm supporting Star Wars, and hopefully we'll get some more cool shit down the way. I'm excited to see Obi-Wan series, see some more Vader. Maybe even see that saber show up again in Palpatine's hand for some random reason. Maybe he'll make an appearance as a surprise thing. Who knows? But I'm pretty pumped. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. Enjoy your night. May the 4th be with you. And man, just support Star Wars. Don't hate it. Support it. If you like Star Wars, support it. If you hate Star Wars, keep it to your fucking self, because nobody cares.